Hello everybody, how are you all doing? Welcome back to Man City Unplugged, your very own Man City fan channel. The the joy, the euphoria from that Wednesday night game against Bayern Munich, it hasn't yet sunk in. I'm still in that, still on that high. I know we have a second leg to go and stuff. The tie isn't over yet in Champions League. It's never over until it's over. But that euphoria hasn't still sunk in. I'm still as joyous, and sure all of you are as well. And Pep has made, I wouldn't say interesting changes, but one change for me is certainly interesting. If you look at this lineup, Laporte coming in from Ake. I mean, today morning I was actually wondering what changes can Pep do to this lineup. See, I don't have any problem with Pep Guardiola changing the attacking players. See, for example, Bernardo, Gundogan, or Alvarez coming in place of De Bruyne, or Mahrez in place of Bernardo on the wing, or Foden, for example, whenever is available in place of Grealish, Alvarez in place of Haaland. I mean, those sort of all of the attacking changes for me, the front four attacking players, they're actually fine. They're not at all a problem. One goes out, other goes in. Not even a slight difference. The engine just pulls on. But the problem is defensive changes. You take out Ake. It's something which Pep done in this game. You take out Ake and then you put in Laporte. So what that does is there's a significant difference. I mean, I dare say that there's significant drop off as well. I mean, first of all, I love Laporte. Last season, he played through injury for us. We have won the title last season. He is one of the primary personnel responsible for that. He was hurt. He had a horrific. He had an injury, and still he played for us. He didn't give up. I remember him playing through pain in that West Ham game and in the game before West Ham as well last season. So Laporte has been immense for us, but but left back is not the best position for Laporte. That's the one thing I would like to say. Left back is not the best position for Laporte. So Ake Laporte, the drop off is significant. Just looking at the position, because for one thing, 1v1 defending, is Laporte as good as Ake? I don't know, because Laporte in the past, I mean, when you remember the mistakes that Laporte has committed in the past, you actually go back to Spurs Champions League 2019, Spurs last 16, I think, right? Spurs concedes a goal to Heung-min Son when Son runs at him. The last match when Laporte played it left back, was it left back or centre back? I don't remember, but it was against Nottingham Forest, if I'm not wrong. And what happened? Forest scored late, and Laporte was at fault over there. Didn't do his 1v1 defending well. I know there were others at fault, but Laporte had the chance to put in a tackle, do 1v1 defending. He didn't do it satisfactorily. So there are examples in games where Laporte, he just goes off, and as a defender in a Pep Guardiola team in this system, when you go that little bit off, you concede a goal basically against Bayern Munich, for example. Why did we keep a clean sheet? Literally all of our defenders were perfect, were flawless. Ake won all of his 1v1s. Akanji was immense, won all of his 1v1s almost except one or two. So all of the defense was perfect. Stones won everything. Diaz was just immense. So with Laporte, I think under pressure in those high octane split second movements, I think Laporte is just a tad below Akanji, Stones, Diaz, and Ake in 1v1 defending. And to this system, it's the reality. It's not what I feel. To this system, 1v1 defending is the key, as we have seen against Munich, as we have seen in past matches as well. Vinay says score and don't stop. Exactly, Vinay. That's what everyone wants. I was actually reading a couple of city forums through the day, and people are like, just we want Haaland to break the Salah record today of highest number of goals in a 38 game season. Score his brace or a hat trick, and then rest by half time. That's what people want. Score and don't stop. Exactly. Kill it in the first half. Everyone wants that. Everyone wants that winner. And kill it in the first half and give rest to your De Bruyne's, your Bernardo Silva's. By the way, have you seen the Bayern Munich match? I mean, no one watches Bundesliga, I know, but Bayern Munich versus Hoffenheim, Bayern at home, they drew 1-1. And I was like, okay, they drew 1-1, but they must have played in a shit squad, resting everyone for the Champions League return. Like, but I was shocked that the same team that played against City played today against Hoffenheim. The only change was Davis didn't play and Cancelo played. That's not much of a change. So interesting again there. Vinay says backline including Ederson turn for Bayern. That's a surprise. That's a lot of surprise. Bayaji says Bayern drew today. Looks like City have ruined their rhythm. City have ruined their confidence. Because Bayaji, if a team does not play well and they get battered 2-0, 3-0, 4-0, for example, if Real Madrid is not in form and they get battered, that's fine. But Bayern Munich, they played well till 60 minutes, 65, 65th minute, and yet they lost. They didn't do too much wrong. But when City is in that form, even if you don't do anything wrong, still will bash you, still will batter you. That's the speciality of this team. There are many teams in the world which can do what City do, especially to an equal level opponent, like Bayern, for example, what we did on Tuesday. So not just rhythm but confidence as well. But still having my hands crossed for the return, like anything can happen. Anything can happen. Bayaji says Dortmund are hopeless though. Not just Dortmund, Bayaji. That league is hopeless though. That league is hopeless. Bundesliga is hopeless. That's why I think the Premier League is so special. Teams just don't let up. And some Bayern fans who say that City in the Bundesliga, sorry, Bayern in the Premier League would just kill it. I'm like, dude, Bayern will lose to Brighton. I can't see Bayern even defeating, the Rax, Tottenham, and Manchester United. Bayern would struggle to be in the top four. Actually, that's how competitive this league is. It's not bloody Bundesliga. Vinay says Muller was changed. Yeah, Muller was also changed. Yeah, Muller was also changed. I didn't quite realize that Muller was changed and Cancelo was there. Everything else was almost the same. Suman says good lineup. But yes, the lineup is very good except Laporte, Sumant. I'm not confident about Amaric Laporte here again. Have been a big Laporte fan, but just with the system which Papa has in place now, I just don't see a place for Laporte. I think Laporte will be sold this summer because he just doesn't fit the system. If Laporte has to play, he has to play as centre back, but he can't stop stones because I don't see Laporte going into the midfield and doing that stuff. So I think this could be the last season for Laporte at the club, sadly. Vinay says Alvarez was out of syllabus for Bayern. And Alvarez was better than De Bruyne when he came on. He just pressed the life out of Bayern actually. Bayern just didn't know what to do after Alvarez came on. The match has kicked off, City kick off the ball, and I hope Edison maintains his form actually. Edison, not Edison, sorry, our Ederson maintains the form that he showed against Bayern. I really hope he does. One thing I'll see is where does John Stones go? Does Kyle Walker tuck in as a centre back or does John Stones go from midfield to centre back? So that will be interesting. Leicester are not in good form, but a new manager bounce. Relegation, they're fighting for life. So those sort of things can actually be. Sometimes they can have a counter-intuitive effect on him. And City interchanging good passes in the penalty area, and Leicester get the ball back. Grealish defensive work rate is so impressive actually. Kyle Walker there. I mean, Pep said Kyle Walker doesn't fit in this system, but I think Pep was referring to the system where Stones was coming in from right back to centre back. That's a chance for Walker to put in a cross. Yeah. So Pep was referring to that system, but now against Bayern, that he has shifted the system where Stones comes from centre back to midfield. I think that system is more stable, and I actually think if that is the system going forward, then Pep Guardiola then I'm sorry, not Pep Guardiola. Then I think Kyle Walker has a future at City because he can play the role exactly what Akanji does. Right back, very good 1v1s, has more pace than Akanji. The only thing probably is crossing. The only difference is why, for example, Pep picks Akanji instead of Walker in that Bayern game, for example, is played right back. Walker plays non-risky passes. You look at it here as well. Walker gets the ball, he looks back, but Akanji gets the ball, he looks for the diagonal. That's a good ball in. Riyad Mahrez, the ball's cleared by the Leicester defense. John Stones, Ruben Diaz. That's a good diagonal there to Kyle Walker. And it's a throw in for City. Jack Grealish. Jack Grealish again. It's a throw in for City as well. City have Leicester under the cosh. Laporte with the ball very early on, but we need to make the dominance count. That's a good ball in for Erling Haaland. Almost it's just cut off by the Leicester defense. And Bernardo Silva with the throw in now for City. City have already pinned Leicester back. It's just that we create that chance and take our chance. Ruben Diaz with the ball, John Stones. Kyle Walker. John Stones again. Jack Grealish. Jack Grealish holding his width very well. It's almost like he's having chalk on his shoes. Ruben Diaz. Rodri. Stones stepped into the midfield. Rodri with the ball. Put in an excellent performance against Bayern, but who didn't? Kevin De Bruyne circulating the ball back. He's found Jack Grealish in space. It goes back to Laporte. Laporte to Kevin De Bruyne. Ah! That was close. That was close for Riyad Mahrez. Why is Riyad Mahrez not wearing any gloves today? I don't know. Riyad Mahrez with the corner kick. That's a goal! That's a goal! That's a goal! And who is it? Who scores it? The hero of the Bayern match! The hero, the player of the Bayern match! Wow, John Stones, an assist against Bayern. Now a goal here. What has Pep Guardiola done to him? Is he do a DNA test? Is he really our John Stones? Is he doing? What is he training with? Shot from long range. What is it? What has Pep Guardiola done to our John Stones? The shots just tremendous. Shots just out of. This is even out of syllabus for Leicester City. Dean Smith is this is cheating. This is absolute cheating. From when as John Stones started to hit it from that distance. And it was a perfect strike as well, almost the top right corner. Sorry, the top left corner. What a goal, what a strike exactly, and wasn't an easy strike as well. Ball was dropping down, it was almost on the volley. What a strike from John Stones. Rodri against Bayern, Stones here. What has happened to our midfield duo? This has to be one of the best midfield duo, right? Stones and Rodri. But what a strike there. See, again, when Rodri can take those sort of kind of shots, Stones can take those kind of shots from distance. Suddenly, if you're the opposition midfield, you're like, okay, I'm covering Kevin De Bruyne here. I'm covering Gundogan here, Bernardo Silva here. But what do you do with Stones and Rodri when they can strike? Am I comfortable allowing them a 25-yard strike? Am I comfortable allowing them a 30-yard strike? I'm like, this must be a huge menace for the opposition managers. The game's not over yet. It's still 1-0. But a good start. 7 minutes and 1-0. We just need to, put the foot on their throat. Aymeric Laporte, Jack Grealish. Leicester not even having a sniff at the goal. I wonder what the possession stats are. The possession stats must be 96 something or something like that. I wouldn't be surprised even if it's 100-0 the possession stats. Leicester have barely had a touch of the ball. Kyle Walker, Rodri, and it's back to Addison. Addison's like, forgotten to bring my favorite newspaper and a stool to just sit there. The passing, especially in the first 5, 6, 7 minutes, has just been superb. De Bruyne there. Rodri, Kevin De Bruyne played to Grealish. Yes, he's played it. Grealish was just second late onto it, but no, nothing doing. Kevin De Bruyne is back again. Kevin De Bruyne, Jack Grealish. That's a free kick to City at the edge of the box. But is it a penalty? Is it a penalty kick? Okay, referee's pointed towards a corner, but he's definitely gone through Jack Grealish. But he's definitely gone through Jack Grealish. But why isn't it a penalty kick? Let me just see the replay again. He's gone. That's a foul. That's a foul, right? That's a foul. Grealish is going on to the referee. There's no need for that, Grealish. Haaland almost had a chance there, but I definitely thought that was a penalty. I don't know why the ref didn't give it. Kevin De Bruyne with a good pass to Grealish. The referee is again telling it's a corner. The City players are convinced now that it's a penalty. Let us see what is it. Lot of penalty shouts here. Lot of penalty shouts going around. This is a penalty. I don't know if this is not a penalty. What is a penalty? He's clearly put his arm out. This should be a penalty. Is this the moment? This should be a penalty. This should be a penalty? Is this the moment Haaland is gonna break Mohamed Salah's record? It's clearly it is arm, and the distance between them is also more. Can someone tell it to me in the chat? Is it a penalty or not? Did the ref give it or not? Because clearly the distance the ball travelled is also there. Is also a lot. The referee is going and having a look on the screen for that. This has to be a penalty, ref. This has to be a penalty. He's used his hand. This has to be a penalty. Yes, he's given a penalty. He's given a penalty. Erling Haaland. Guys, is this the moment Erling Haaland is going to break Mo Salah's record of the highest goals in a Premier League, in a 38 game Premier League season? Is this the moment Mo Salah is gonna do it? Sorry, is this the moment Erling Haaland is gonna do it? Which side is he gonna put the penalty? Erling Haaland has taken the ball. Obviously, he will be the one to strike the penalty. On 32 goals, 45 goals in all competitions, and 32 goals for Erling Haaland. Erling Haaland to strike the penalty. Erling Haaland. Is this gonna be the moment, Erling? Which just hit it low and hard. Erling, don't try to be cheeky and put it down the middle. No, no, Erling. Erling, can this be the moment? Yes, Erling Haaland! He breaks the record for the highest goals in a 38 game Premier League season. Erling Haaland with 33 goals, and it's as perfect a penalty as you'll ever see in the history of football. 31? He's broken the record, Vinay. He's broken the record, I think. He's broken the record. He's broken the record, I think, right? Because last time I saw it was 32. I thought he'd broken the record actually. Am I wrong? I don't know because I thought he's broken the record. Anyway, 46 goals for the season. Erling Haaland. City are all over Leicester. Let me just check that once. Need two more. Okay. I'll just check that once as well because I pretty much thought if he scored today, then I thought he'll actually break it. Grealish is down, and let us actually check that. Yes, you're right. You're right. He needs two more. I was like, I thought this is it actually, but fine. I at least enjoyed myself a bit there. That is fine. Erling score a hat trick. I think I actually read the stat wrong somewhere for something, but again, the quality of the penalty was superb. The quality of the penalty was just outstanding, right? In the corner. How many goals do you reckon Haaland will score this season by the end of it in all competitions? I think 60 can be realistic actually. 60 can be a realistic number. And considering he's gone through a bit of a goal glut in the middle, it's actually not a goal glut by Haaland, but by Haaland's standards, it's a bit of a goal glut. I think next season, if he just continues, I think, and he doesn't have a goal glut in the middle like he had, and we were adapting to him in the sort of a mid-season after the World Cup, a month or 2 months after the World Cup, I think he can target 70 next season. Ruben Diaz, Jack Grealish. It's a throw in for City. Kyle Walker's look good, but then Leicester have not attacked as much, so I can't really say Laporte and Kyle Walker and have they looked good or bad? I don't know because we have just spent Leicester in our half all through, and this is a free kick from a superb position for Kevin De Bruyne. Has to be a right footer taking it from here, and if it's a right footer, it's Kevin De Bruyne. Don't fancy Mahrez from this angle. I mean, don't fancy a left footer, especially from this angle. It has to be Kevin De Bruyne. And Kevin De Bruyne will take it, I think. And it's well defended by Leicester. Two more goals before half time, and then we can see the likes of Perone, Palmer just relax after for a while and see a City match. I think when was the last time we were relaxed in a City match? And it's this is the first attack from Leicester, and Kyle Walker's there. Rodri does well. Kyle Walker retrieves the ball. Walker does well again and switch it. Yes, yes. The space is there with Aymeric Laporte. Switch the ball to Aymeric Laporte. That is where you need to use your brain. I think City can even use this match to ramp up that goal difference thing, which can be a pressure moment for the chasing team. Sorry, for the team at the top, we are the chasing team. So, I mean, 2014-15 season, I think, if I'm not wrong, Manuel Pellegrini is under Manuel Pellegrini, where we won the trophy against Liverpool. I mean, apart from Gerrard slip, Liverpool thought that Liverpool needed to ramp up the goal difference, and they went gung ho against Crystal Palace 3-0 up, and I remember, and Palace came back 3-3. So goal difference can play a part. Goal difference almost is like an extra point for you. So the opposition can put pressure on the opposition with goal difference. So I hope we ramp up the goal difference today. Kevin De Bruyne, Erling Haaland, and it's gone out for a City throw. I think Leicester have had zero throws, zero corners. Now they're having a throw. Attacking wise, this has been classic Manchester City, I think. It's a throw in again to Leicester, and need to score one more goal to secure the match. That's what I'm feeling. One more goal. Because there's always Vardy who's looking to hit on the counter attack. So that will be interesting how Leicester utilize Vardy. There is James Madison, so Leicester have attacking talent. Leicester for the first time in City's box. A bit of a wobble, I think, but Leicester have now come out of their shell a bit more. Now this will be a test for Kyle Walker. This will be a test for Aymeric Laporte in terms of can they really fit this system. It's offside. Vardy was offside there. Vardy is still causing us problems. But then we need to be very careful. Vardy was blatantly he was just too much offside over there. But we need to be careful of those Vardy runs. I think this is where Nathan Ake, for example, when you have strikers or wingers making those runs in behind you, Laporte is not the best at defending that. I think that is where that is why he probably doesn't suit the left back role. And the problem with the centre back role is do you play Diaz or do you play Laporte? Both of them can't play again because you at least need one to have pace and the other to have defensive solidity, and even if he doesn't have pace. So Laporte Stones might be good, but Rodri there, Rodri being pressured. That's a good ball from Rodri to find Aymeric Laporte. Bernardo Silva comes out as a in order to offer an option to Laporte and bring him out of pressure. John Stones, Kyle Walker. Stones again playing as a pivot alongside Rodrigo there. Kevin De Bruyne. Ah, tried to play through ball to Mahrez, but if it was Haaland, Haaland would have got there. Soyuncu with the defending. Walker's playing more advanced today, not how Akanji played against Bayern. Of course, that was Bayern and Akanji just needed to be back defending. Rodri, Kevin De Bruyne. Riyad Mahrez trying to do some skills there, but it's a throw in for City. I think one more goal before the break is needed because we need to rest players so that Bayern game end. Not at 2-0. I think Pep at least needs 3-0 to make a lot of substitutions. Kyle Walker. That's Leicester's ball. Over the seasons, you've got used to seeing Casper Schmeichel in Leicester's goal. That when you see someone else, you feel like a bit odd. You feel as time just passed on so much because you associate Leicester City with Vardy, with your Casper Schmeichel and stuff like that. Mahrez with a little bit of a mistake, but pressing from City, the counter pressing from City is excellent. It's a ball over the top, and Leicester are actually playing balls in the channels, and I just think City is struggling a bit with it. De Bruyne does extremely well to get the ball through. He has green space ahead of him. Erling Haaland scores! It's three! It's Erling Haaland with the skate park finish! Just look at the finish! The finish is just awesome! The finish is just superb! Salute Erling Haaland! Kevin De Bruyne, Erling Haaland, look at that combination now! Wow, that wasn't an easy goal. The finish was not as easy as Haaland showed it to be. The run was spectacular. The defenders were on full tilt. Was it Soyuncu or fast? Both are not slow, both are not that, both are fast as well. Kevin De Bruyne does extremely well. Plays in Erling Haaland, look at that. Look at how he's finished it. The finish just superb. He just kept it over the keeper. Is it tapping? When you look at Erling Haaland's goal, they feel like tappins, but the finish is just sublime, right? That's half a chance. How many strikers in the world can finish that? And also the thing about that is Haaland started literally in behind the entire Leicester backline. So there was no need even for an offside check over there. Haaland was he almost the Leicester defense had what at least 2-3 yard head start on him, and yet Haaland was just able to run through, and it is just superb. Just one goal needed. Yes, when one goal needed, then maybe I can celebrate. I can celebrate in the stream as well again. One goal needed. It will be another Haaland hat trick, and Haaland breaking the record as well. I mean, he has 45, right, in all competitions. I mean, now with these two goals, it's 47. If he breaks the record in this match, it could be 48. And That could mean he could have the chance to hit a half century of goals against Bayern Munich. I just want him to hit that 50 against Bayern Munich, take off his shirt and throw it into the Bayern crowd. Kevin De Bruyne there with the chance to almost provide an assist. And how many assists does KDB have now? He is also getting closer to the record of Thierry Henry. 19, I think, is the record of Henry and Cesc Fabregas. And I think Kevin De Bruyne has equaled that in the previous season as well. 101, yeah. Yeah, 101, but highest number of assists in a Premier League season. I think it's 19. Cesc Fabregas, Thierry Henry, and Kevin De Bruyne. I think all the three of them are tied on that. De Bruyne from 2 seasons back. I don't remember the season, but he's equal that record in one of the seasons. I think this season, how many assists is he having? 12 in the Premier League. I don't know the exact number. We'll have to check those stats again. But De Bruyne is getting closer to that record as well. Jack Grealish with the ball. Jack Grealish, Riyad Mahrez. Ball almost is going to Erling Haaland over there. Yeah, it needs 6 or 7 maybe exactly. I think he might be on 12 or 13. Yeah, I think he might be on 12 actually. So 7 needed to equal the record and 8 needed to break the record. And so much so for Jamie Carragher coming on air and telling that Haaland makes the team worse. Jamie Carragher might be feeling like an absolute prat now. Right? He must be feeling like an absolute idiot now. Telling that he City is better off without Haaland. Haaland is not the kind of striker that suits City. I don't know how you can come up with things like that without even giving the lad at least a year to settle in, the first season to settle in. I mean, I know from where he has said that because Haaland was, he was not, he was taking his time to adapt to City's build up and stuff. But then how many years did Riyad Mahrez take? 1 year, 1.5 year? Grealish, 1.5 year, I think, is taken to adapt to our system. Nathan Ake, at least 1.5 year. And last season we thought he would never fit in our system, and look at what he's doing it now. So every player has taken time here. And yet you want to judge Haaland? Erling Haaland almost there. And yet you want to judge Erling Haaland for in just 3, 4, 5 months. JSK says, "Hey Mohan, I was in a very melancholic mood as one of my friend passed away in a car accident, but Haaland has lightened up my mood. That's very sad to hear, JSK, and I hope his soul rests in peace and understand how you're feeling. I hope Haaland scores a hat trick. Haaland scores 4 and 5 goals, and City just ramp up Leicester and they also ramp up Bayern Munich. That will just lighten up your mood a little bit. JSK says KDB's 2 years old daughter has touched the PL trophy more times than Jamie Carragher. Some legends JSK, they are just, I mean, I won't even call them legends, sorry, some pundits. There's this Jamie Carragher, there is this Ian Wright. Yeah, they're so biased, and you're like absolutely pissed off. Why should I always hear the praise of Arsenal when a preview of Leicester and City is going on, or a preview of a City match is going on? That's what you think when you hear these kind of pundits. I mean, in all fairness, I think Gary Neville is much better than all of these pundits. At least he speaks his mind. At least he's not overly biased. What's club? Vinay says KDB is on 15, I think. And by the way, JSK, how has your Ederson performed in this match? I know that he hasn't performed anything. This match, he's just had nothing to do. Vinicius Bundesliga tax, KDB, Haaland. There's another player, Vinay. There's another player. You have actually forgotten who everyone thought would bring the Bundesliga tax, who everyone thought would bring the Dortmund tax. It's Manuel Akanji. Bayern were absolutely stunned by the way Manuel Akanji had Coleman, had Sani on toast. They had Sadio Mane on toast as well. Bayern were like, how did we miss this guy? Gundo, exactly. Gundogan has been the first player Pep has signed. He's been an absolute. He's won a PL on his own on the last day, right? He's been an absolute colossus. JSK says Vardy did a Fernando Torres, by the way. Saw that JSK. By the way, Jamie Vardy, I think this could be the last season for Jamie Vardy actually. Sorry. Thank you, JSK. I'll change the score. Change the score. Thank you for that. I'll change the score now. Hope Haaland breaks the record now. What a ball by Grealish. By the way, are you guys actually nervous about that Bayern second leg? Is that Real Madrid match of what happened at the Bernabeu? Is it coming back to your mind, or are you guys feeling calm, chill, and we can do it? What? How are you guys feeling about the Bayern tie, Bayern home? Because the demons of Real Madrid, I'll be fair. I mean, what I feel that the demons of Real Madrid are still alive in me. The demons of Real Madrid. I can't forget what happened that night. 2 minutes and how do we concede two goals? This will be a mentality game, personality game more than anything else. JSK says I'm nervous. By the way, I'm nervous to be honest. I'm nervous as well, JSK. I'm very nervous. Now I was nervous for the Etihad tie as well because it was Bayern Munich. I'm nervous now as well. I know the form hasn't been good, but Pep Guardiola summed it up perfectly in that press conference after the match. He told these teams like Bayern, these European team giants like Bayern have a lot of experience in these Champions League games. They've been playing Champions League since I don't know when the European trophy since 40, 50, 60 years. So they have a lot of experience in those moments. They're special. So it's not over until it's over. I think if we score first, then I think pretty much we can manage the tie. I think that should be our aim. But our aim should be a clean sheet even in that buy and tie. And as his Grealish work rate has just improved. His defensive performance has been very, very good, Vinay. It's just been outstanding the way he's come back and helped. You know, in that Bayern team, they were surprised that Grealish is coming back and doing so much of defensive work. Bernardo is coming back and doing so much of defensive work. It almost felt that Bayern were suffocated. They were like, what the hell? When Haaland is doing so much work. I mean, which other team in the world does this much work off the ball? Why we won the Bayern match, you could actually point out to Rodri strike, you could actually point out to Haaland goal, Bernardo goal, John Stones defending, Ruben Diaz block, and all of those things. But it is all down to work off the ball. Work off the ball is what wins you Champions League matches. Work off the ball is what wins you Champions League trophies. JSK says Zinchenko, Edison, and Pep caused that match, to be honest. Edison probably I think for the first goal he should have come out, but Zinchenko, my God. I mean, after Zinchenko was sold, a lot of City fans. I mean, even a month back, even now, there are City fans who are generally telling, if you check a lot of forums and a lot of people were telling, like, why did we sell Zinchenko? Now, Zinchenko is prime up there to help Arsenal win the league and all of that stuff. But that one moment when Trent Alexander Arnold he nutmegged Zinchenko, and gave that cross for Firmino to equalize. And you see Zinchenko's reaction on the bench, you see Arteta's reaction on the touchline. That one moment is enough to underline why Pep sold Zinchenko was defensively not good enough to win as the Champions League. Why did we lose to Chelsea in the final? Zinchenko's defensive error. There's no two ways to put it. Zinchenko's defensive error. To point out to no midfield, this, that, but Zinchenko's defensive error. Defensively, did you think that Zinchenko could have defended the same way like Ake did, for example, if he played in place of Ake against Bayern? No way. No way. So I think selling Zinchenko was, I know he's been a great servant for us. We have emotions for him. That PSG Champions League match, he defended his heart out. But the Aston Villa final day, he helped us. He really changed the match for us. We wouldn't have probably won the title without him. Lot of things, I know, lot of things. But defensively, I don't think Zinchenko was good enough for us to win the Champions League, and that's the blunt truth. We must accept it. And like Vinay, you have said, even Cancelo as well. Cancelo also is defensively not good enough to win us the Champions League. Leicester on the counter attack. Then Leicester on the counter attack. This will be a test of our system. This will be a test of our system. It's a Leicester free kick over there. I think we are now almost playing a flat back four with Stones and Diaz back there. JSK says Stefan Ortega should start that match and we should play the Atletico game. That's true, that's true. But will he start Stefan Ortega? I mean, the thing here is Ortega's distribution is also very good and his shot stopping is also very good. Bayern would have, in a blink of an eye, taken Stefan Ortega over Jan Sommer if that option was there. Ortega is that good. He's been one of the best upcoming goalkeepers in the Bundesliga in the last season. His shot stopping is it's just phenomenal. His shot stopping is, I would go as far as to say that it's almost in the top two, top three in the Premier League. It's that good. And a keeper that good with his feet. It's not bad with his feet. He's in the top five in the Premier League with his feet. Stephen Ortega and top three with shot stopping is that good. The only thing is, against Bayern, for example, if you play the Atletico game, the problem is they can swarm you with Coman, Alfonso Davis, Leroy Sané, Benjamin Pavard, Jamal Musiala through the middle. If Thomas Muller starts, Muller through the middle. So you literally have seven people attacking. That's tough. People say Atletico Madrid are anti-football and stuff. That's fine, but the way they do it is actually tough. Tougher than if you, for example, if you want to have possession and attack. Because if you attack Bayern, then at any point of time, it won't be that all of the players will be pinned in our half, right? So the game will be much more even. The pressure on our defense will be much more less. So I think we just play a normal game. I think the teams that win the Champions League, the very great teams, one of the biggest assets is under stressful circumstances, under very critical circumstances, under emergency circumstances. Like for example, when Madrid equalized 2-2, the teams with the experience in this competition, teams with some trophies in who have won the Champions League before would have played the normal game. That is where Pep said after that Real Madrid match, few days after that Real Madrid match, we need to learn to play under pressure. We need to play football with courage. That is something we really need to learn actually. To play a normal football under extremely pressure circumstances. I know we are doing it in the league, but it's a whole different thing doing it in the knockout competition. That's a wonderful ball. Kevin De Bruyne onto it. It was always rising, was always a very difficult thing with the outside of the foot. JSK says Ake is excellent defensively. 1v1, JSK, Ake is the best defender in the Premier League 1v1. Right now, Van Dijk has dropped off. So Ake is the best defender. I always thought Van Dijk was first, but Van Dijk was in his prime, and Ake is second or third 1v1. Now, Ake is number one in the Premier League, pure 1v1 defending. You just can't get past Ake. Look at what Ake has actually done to. Let us look at the matchups. Ake versus the most informed wingers in the league. Ake versus Saka, FA Cup. Didn't do anything. Ake just left him for dust. Ake versus Sané, Bayern Munich. just left him to dust. Ake versus Coleman. In fact, Sonny changed wings. Sorry, Coleman changed wings with Sonny because he was not able to deal with Ake, and both of them could not do anything. So Ake is just absolutely superb defensively, just a bit underappreciated. JSK says Jamal Musiala actually struggled a lot against Rodri. Doubt he will start, it will be Muller over him. But the thing with Muller JSK is, can Muller press? Does Muller's age is in 30s, I'm sure of that. Is does Muller have the legs in him to, counter press our midfield of Rodri, Stones, Bernardo, Gundogan, Kevin De Bruyne? Sure, Bernardo will play on the wing. So Muller doesn't have those legs, so I think I can understand why Tuchel played Musiala over there just to counter press to cover the ground that he did. So playing Muller, there'll be a lot of other problems that will arise for Thomas Tuchel. I think so. Muller will give you a lot more finishing. Muller will give you that movement. But what Muller can't give you is probably that ball carrying ability from the midfield, which Musiala does. What Muller can't give you is that energy in the midfield. So there are pros and cons. Honestly, Thomas Tuchel picked his best team for the Etihad. It was an even game, like people say, but such is the level of City that even if you pick your best team and you're in European giant, you still should succumb, and it should honestly have been 4-0 or 5-0. So that's kudos to the level you're playing at. Kyle Walker, Kevin De Bruyne with his trademark cross. It's a free kick to Leicester. Also, I can understand another thing, JSK, that he could play Muller just probably to offer a little bit more height than Jamal Musiala, that bit more physicality. There was an interesting analysis on City, how and Pep's and on why Pep City is actually different to all of the other teams, right, from Barcelona, is coached in the past. Because suddenly you look at Pep City and just look at the height in this team: Akanji, Stones, Diaz, Ake, Rodri. So you Haaland. So you literally have six players who are over 6 foot, who are like very tall. When was the last time you had these many tall players in a Pep's team, and who are physical as well? Six players. So now so this is a completely different version of a Pep's team. Kevin De Bruyne, Haaland has placed to run into Haaland. Actually, the Leicester defense was back, but that's excellent from Riyad Mahrez. Rodri now has space, and the pass from Rodri is short there. Otherwise, Jack Grealish would have had 1v1 against the Leicester winger, against the Leicester fullback. JSK says Choupo-Moting will start next match. But one thing, JSK, Choupo-Moting might start next match, but the philosophy will still be the same. So even if Choupo-Moting will start, Choupo-Moting will have to drop back into the midfield. Okay, Thomas Tuchel didn't have a striker, but the reason for why he might opt against the striker is Choupo-Moting also will need to drop back, because City have so many people in midfield right now, with John Stones coming into the midfield with centre back. Suddenly you have Rodri, John Stones, Gundogan, Kevin De Bruyne, and you also have Erling Haaland dropping in. So five people in the midfield. So if the Bayern striker doesn't drop in, then it will always mean that you'll struggle to get the ball of City's midfield, and that would still mean there's no service to a Choupo-Moting. So it's almost the same thing, right? So many people were telling Bayern struggled because they didn't have a striker, but even if Thomas Tuchel had an option, maybe he might opt against it, against Choupo-Moting. I know he loves Choupo-Moting, but he had him at PSG. But I think the problem was tactical more than playing with the striker and stuff, because he could have played Leroy Sané as striker, for example. The thing with Thomas Tuchel was he knew he needed to get that extra number in the midfield. Vishal is here. He says, bloody criminal to get Haaland and KDB played together. It just isn't fair, man. Shell says the run is going to be electric. Arsenal just can't make a mistake. It's match after match, Vishal. It's match after match, and I don't want to jinx it and stuff, but there's one thing I would say, since we have been in runs like this against an electric Liverpool team, against Liverpool team, which if we were not there would have won at least two more Premier Leagues, if not more. There's no room for mistakes. One, I mean, you can't even blink the eye once, and to just tell you it's half time and City going to half time 3 nil. And just to tell you the enormity of the occasion, when is it that Pep Guardiola comes out into press conferences, and he's been doing it from the past 2 3 matches. Every match is telling in the press conference, if you lose, the season's over. If you lose, the title's gone. I don't remember Pep Guardiola doing it even in that Liverpool season. He was always like, he will drop Liverpool will drop points, Liverpool will drop points. But this season, every match is actually telling that you need to be perfect, you need to be perfect. By the way, Vishal, that Liverpool match, what did you actually think? Wanted to know your thoughts about it, because you guys are 2 nil down. I mean, I know it can feel a little bit bad and bitter to go back to that match where you drop points, but I just wanted to know about the mindset of what did you think? Where did it go bad after you were leading 2 nil? You were playing panache football, and I just thought it was a waste of time to watch. Arsenal are just going to whack Liverpool at Anfield and stuff like that. Where did you think it started to go wrong? Did it start to go wrong in the second half when you defended, or was it the Shaka Trent fight that got the Anfield crowd going? Where do you think it went wrong? JSK says, I think we should offer a new contract to Haaland with at least 500,000 pounds per week. Whatever he asks, JSK, whatever he asks. I'm sure that Sheikh Mansour has sent a blank check to Erling Haaland already. It must be in his post box. It's just that he didn't open it till now. That's it. Haaland opens the post box, he sees a blank check. Just write the figure you want. There's a small card along with it. Write the figure you want with uh, all the best wishes. Sheikh Mansour, that would have been the gift to Haaland from Sheikh Mansour. I mean, just the connection. There was one pundit, I think it's Ian Wright, who's a huge Arsenal fan. He was actually telling, I think 2 3 days back, not 2 3 days, last match actually. He was telling, once KDB and Haaland start to click, it's over. It's gonna be difficult. Maybe that's true, but I still think that the connection still has a level to go, at least a level and a level and a half to go, and that's a scary prospect actually for opponents. Scary prospect for opponents, but the the counter narrative of this kind of a run in is, it's very good that we are in with a chance for 3 trophies. Again, I don't want to jinx it. I'm just telling it. We are in with a chance for FA Cup, the Premier League, and the Champions League. And the counter narrative to all this is, you can pretty much lose everything in a week, and we're left with nothing. So that's the harshness. That's how much the pressure on the players is. You could work hard, work your backside off all season, and still in the space of a week, in the space of seconds, in the space of minutes, you could lose everything and come out of the season with nothing. Like it happened to Liverpool. They fought for everything last season, and they fought tooth and nail for everything. And what did they end up with? Carabao Cup and FA Cup, which, to be fair, if you ask a Liverpool fan, they'll say that instead of winning both those trophies, I would concentrate and would have been happy only with winning the Champions League or only with winning the Premier League. So that's the counter narrative of going for all the three trophies. But then we are City. We have a habit of going for all of them. I mean, looking at this match, I thought defensively the shape was a little bit more different actually from the Bayern match, and I can understand you cannot have all matches where Your right back, six back, because that was Bayern, he was back. But with Kyle Walker, I thought sometimes Leicester had the chance to go on a break. Leicester had the chance to hit us on a counter. And but Kyle Walker with his recovery pace did well. The defending has been good. Grealish has actually raced back one or two times and he's done it well. What do you guys reckon? Is it game over, or you'd wait for one more goal and then probably then try to bring in substitutes? JSK says Rico Lewis should play over Walker. That is true, JSK. That is. I mean, the counter narrative to that is if Rico Lewis plays, is. See, this is the difficulty of playing Rico Lewis there, because if Rico Lewis plays, then probably I think John Stone stays back and Rico Lewis comes inside into the midfield. But Pep is really adamant on having, not adamant, but I think Pep has realized that if you have to play with Erling Haaland and have to make that system of Haaland and Kevin De Bruyne actually click, then Rico Lewis should. I mean, then you need to have four centre backs. So if Rico Lewis plays, Rico Lewis comes inside, that's fine. He's master at that. But does Rico Lewis have the same defensive attributes of a John Stones when Stones plays there, or does he have? Is Rico Lewis a good 1v1 defender? Like Emmanuel Akanji or Kyle Walker, he's not. So I think that is one thing against Rico Lewis. Just like while Laporte can't play that left back position, not a good defender, 1v1 situations, especially when it shifts to that back three and stuff. So it will be interesting to see what Pep does with Rico Lewis there. Which position does he play him in? Because I just think that Pep would have put Rico Lewis through a lot of defensive drills and stuff. JSK says Rico Lewis has been doing decent defensively, unlike Trent and Sinchenko. That is due to the skills of the training of Pep Guardiola, JSK, because Rico Lewis wasn't that good defensively, and Pep Guardiola just took it upon himself to develop his defensive skills. But I think he just needs to develop a little bit more defensively. I think he'll play in the FA Cup game, but to start him in a Premier League match, especially when the running is so difficult, I actually think he's just not ready enough. And next season, it could actually turn a little bit more difficult for Rico Lewis. I don't want it to be because he's an academy lad, but Jan Kuto, I think, is going to come into the squad. He's going to be in the preseason tour, and Jan Kuto is a master at coming inside. The runs Jan Kuto makes through the middle of the pitch, it's just from right back position, it's just a dream. And Jan Kuto is absolutely very good in 1v1 defending as well. His crossing, they say, is from a right back position is best, only next to Trent Arnold. So I think competition will be there for Rico Lewis. I just hope we don't buy a right back. That would tarnish the chances of Rico Lewis. That's actually the only thing. Other than that, I actually think it's Rico Lewis place actually to fight for, because Walker will be going off in a couple of years. I think next year and the year after probably could be his last. They're showing the second, third goal, and that's just fantastic. The third goal, little bit of space for Haaland to run into. That might be a template. That might be a template for what you do against Bayern Munich. That little pass, through the defense. It wasn't an extravagant through ball or something, but the way Haaland took it, the touch of Erling Haaland was magnificent over there. If you closely look at it, the touch of Erling Haaland took it past the defender. The defender was coming onto the ball, the touch took it away from him. And the early finish over the goalkeeper, it is just sublime from Erling Haaland. What a technique for a finish. Superb. Superb. By the way, I wanted to ask you a lot about Laporte as well. It's very clear that Laporte will leave in the summer. So, what do you think? Who do you think we should go for in the summer? Do you still think Josko Guardiola is needed in the summer, or or do you actually think we can go for a much more cheaper option than Josko Guardiola? Because Vinay, I think, was mentioning Enrica, and I just had last time, and I just had a look at Enrica. He's two-footed, and his tackles and everything are very good. His passing is very good. I don't know about his height and physicality, so that is something we need to check because Pep is clearly looking at height and physicality as well right now to build his defense on. JSK says Harry Maguire. Oh my God, JSK, Harry Maguire. He's. How did I miss Harry Maguire actually? The elite defender, right? If I'm not wrong, he's in the running for the Ballon d'Or as well, right? I've just heard that he might have just overtaken Erling Haaland and Messi for that Ballon d'Or race. He's the favorite to win the Ballon d'Or right now. Harry Maguire. My God, every transfer window, I remember that season when we escaped that bombshell of Harry Maguire there. Just can't imagine how would it would have been paying 80 million pounds for this guy, Harry Maguire. I mean, when you look at Harry Maguire 2017, 80 million pounds, close to that, and Josco Guardiola, they're asking 100 million pounds, could bargain up to 90. I'm like, if Harry Maguire was in Leicester until now, how much would they have quoted his price? Would it have been 140 million pounds? I don't know. United were absolutely robbed. And you know what many United fans say? They say that Pep Guardiola has got an open checkbook. If Claudio Bravo didn't work, he got an Edison. He's just like Pep Guardiola's job is much easier because if he doesn't get a player, he just throws him away and gets in another. How biased is that when you can look at whole of United squads and how many of those squads have been wasted? Daniel James a waste. Alexis Sanchez with so much of wages are waste. Paul Pogba has done nothing. Harry Maguire now. Victor Lindelof. I can just sit here and give you 20 names in the last 4 years, 5 years of Manchester United who are just who absolutely were wasteful, and yet just for one signing, Claudio Bravo Edison, they tell Pep as an open checkbook, this and that. What were the signings under Pep Guardiola that actually didn't work for us? Claudio Bravo, I can understand that was the one. Mendy, you can't comment because an on-field, off-field issue has happened, and it's just personal thing because Mendy was a damn good player in Monaco, but so Mendy, you just leave it. It's an unusual circumstance. But apart from Claudio Bravo, name another player who didn't work for us under Pep. No one, literally no one. When Pep buys someone with high money, he makes sure they work. Make sure they work. JSK says, don't forget the Spanish Marcelo to playing for Chelsea. I was cursing Tixiki for letting him go. We were having a lot of heated comments. I remember that time in the transfer window on this channel, we were having a lot of heated comments, right? And why does Tixiki Bagaristan always do this kind of miserly things in terms of buying fullbacks for City? When will he learn his lesson? Get Cucurella. We were like, get Cucurella no matter the price and this and that. But I always think from now on in the transfer window, if we miss out on someone, we must just close our eyes, look up into the sky, and thank destiny. And that player was not in City's destiny. That's all, and it's for the good of all. My God, Cucurella 60, 70 million. I mean, not the price of Cucurella, but would Ake have come through if he had paid so much and gotten Cucurella? I don't know. Excuse me for that, but I just don't know because I know price doesn't bother Pep, but maybe Pep would have forced a bit more of Cucurella and Ake would not have gotten the chance to play this match. So I don't know. Thank God we escaped him. JSK says Angelino, but Angelino was our academy product, right? JSK, we didn't buy him or something. So I think academy product Pep didn't bring him with money and all. Pep tried, but he didn't work. JSK says Nolito. Yes, Nolito was there, but I don't think that Nolito was a flop because the reason for bringing in Nolito at that stage was just to inculcate Nolito is Spanish, right? By the way, if I'm not wrong, I mean just to inculcate Pep's system and pass on Pep's messages to the entire team. Pep brought in two players that season to pass on his system and his understanding of the game to the team and to help him during the coaching drills, coaching stuff, and relaying messages even on the field as well. One was Nolito and the other one was Gundogan. So I think Nolito was anyway a 1 year or 2 year project. Nolito was never bought in for the long term actually, because you knew when we bought in Nolito as well, it was almost like what he was 31 at that time, so Nolito was past his prime. Ferran Torres could be another name that would come into your mind, but Ferran Torres left on his own, right? And we got good money for him as well, so that's fun. And now Barcelona are crying. Why did we sell them? Ferran Torres is not able to score a goal or stuff. Bayaji says, don't forget the Belgian Buffalo, Lukaku for 85 million, and also the likes of Falcao, Di Maria, etc. That's the thing, Bayaji. That's the bias, you know. I mean, I'm not telling you to look at last 20 years or so. Just in the last 4 or 5 years since Pep began his stint here. Chelsea will at least have 10, 15 players who have just not fitted in the system. United will have loads of squads, lots of playing 11s who have not fitted in their system. Still, they have certain high profile players who after 2, 3 years have not fitted in the system. Jadon Sancho, has it been at least 1, 2 years since he's been there, not fitted into the system. Anthony already looks like they paid 80 million for him. That was just they were ripped off. So every transfer window, United are ripped off at least 100, 150 million, just like its pockets change. And when we spend 100 million on a player who can turn out to be a world class player like Jack Grealish, the English media is on to us. It's just pure English media bias. That's all. JSK says we got Julian Alvarez for Ferran Torres. Honestly, don't mind. And just look at the price of Julian Alvarez as well, 18 million pounds. So okay, 18 to 23 million pounds in today's market. I mean, just imagine after winning the World Cup, Julian Alvarez price. What would it have been after his displays in the World Cup? And he's Argentinian as well. Dubbed as the next Sergio Aguero. Chelsea would have paid 100 million pounds for Julian Alvarez to get him. That's for sure. Bayern Munich would have been in the race for Julian Alvarez because they need a striker. The scouting from City has just been abnormal. It's just been superb. And no one at Chelsea even talks about Lukaku now. It's as if that 100 million gone down the drain, 100 million euros, and it's this regular business for us. And many Chelsea fans were actually talking about Jack Grealish and how we have been ripped off by paying 100 million for him. That's just insane. The price is just insane. Vinay says Alvarez is the biggest robbery. Thank God, Vinay, we just committed one big robbery. There was a chance for us to commit two big robberies. Actually, the footballing world would have just gone insane. The opposition fans would just have been gone nuts, because if you remember, River Plate were offering us Enzo Fernandez and Julian Alvarez is a package, both of them combined for 35 million pounds. Because Enzo Fernandez was also a player we were scouting actually. Because before we went for Calvin Phillips, we were scouting Matthews Nunes, Enzo Fernandez. A lot of rumors were coming around Enzo Fernandez, but we took all the hard work and we decoupled the deal and just took Julian Alvarez. Just imagine if we would have got Alvarez plus Enzo Fernandez for 35 million. That would just have been insane, right? That would have been the robbery of the millennium. And I bet Enzo Fernandez would have already settled into this midfield with City more than Calvin Phillips. That's a great ball. That's a great ball. Riyad Mahrez is on to. Sorry, Kyle Walker is on to the ball. Good pass from Kyle Walker as well. Good pass from Kyle Walker as well. The running from Kyle Walker has just been superb, especially in those channels today. Leicester have made a substitution. They made a couple of substitutions, I think, attacking substitutions. City have brought in Akanji, Kevin De Bruyne with the ball. Leicester just can't get out. Clean sheet is paramount here. Clean sheet is absolutely paramount here. JSK says, by the way, Liverpool backing out. We have a great chance for Jude now. That's great recovery there from Kyle Walker. The Leicester attacker was just going, but it was anyway offside. It's a Iheanacho offside over there. But again, JSK, do we need Jude Bellingham on a priority? Paying 130 million for him. Marginal offside. Probably offside, but again, good 1v1 defending there from Kyle Walker. But JSK, do we need Jude Bellingham? I mean, that to 130 million, do we need it? That's my question. Because in half the price, you could potentially get an Alexis McAllister there if you want a similar profile of a player. And also, I think we need to have clarity first on whom we are replacing with Jude Bellingham. Are we replacing KDB or are we replacing Gundogan? I mean, KDB not for next season, but for the future, or are we replacing Gundogan there? Because Jude Bellingham for me is a future KDB kind of a player and not a Gundogan kind of a player. That's what I think. Because Jude's, one of the strengths of Gundogan and Bernardo Silva is ball retention in deeper areas. They can drop deep and get the ball under pressure. Both Gundogan and Bernardo Silva without giving it up. Jude Bellingham, yes, he has more tricks and stuff, but that was unnecessary from Rodri over there. We don't need to concede a goal now early on in the half, but that ball's gone out. So can the question here is, can Jude Bellingham retain the ball in deeper areas? So I think he's a Kevin De Bruyne replacement. But then again, there are two options here. Do you go for Florian Wirtz? Oh, by the way, Callan Phillips is coming on as well. Early on, it's not even the 50th minute. It's a striking 50 and Calvin Phillips is coming on. Yeah. So the question here is Florian Wirtz or Jude Bellingham for long term KDB replacement. So I don't know. I don't know. It's actually not an easy question to answer. JSK says yes, he'll be a long term replacement. JSK says, or how about Mason Mount? Chelsea are planning to sell him. The day I'll the day I learned that City are signing Mason Mount, I'll just go mad. I'll just go mad, JSK. We have tens and twenties of Mason Mounts coming through the academy every year. Instead of Mason Mount, I would as well play Aymeric Laporte in midfield. He would do a better job than Mason Mount. Mason Mount is honestly overrated by Chelsea fans. He had one good season and that's it. Opponents figured him out and he just could not put in another stellar season. So no Mason Mount. I don't want the Chelsea tax. Kevin De Bruyne, Leicester are actually pressing well with the two. They're playing Madison and Iheanacho, I think, up front. City are a bit struggling to get out. Bernardo Silva. The thing is, Chelsea are planning to sell him JSK, but I don't think any of the top six club at least will be interested in buying Mason Mount. JSK says, so Declan Rice is actually good. Yes, Declan Rice is actually good. Declan Rice will be an interesting option, JSK, especially to cover for John Stones. The thing you get with Declan Rice is he has played as a centre back in his career as well, and is now playing as a midfielder, CDM, that pivot role, so box to box roles. So I actually think it would perfectly suit what John Stones is doing. So I think Declan Rice for 80 million would actually be perfect. He would be a perfect signing. He can carry the ball through tight spaces. He's very good on the ball. He can defend as well. Has that presence. Is I think he's come through as a centre back from West Ham Academy. So Declan Rice would be perfect. But then if Laporte leaves, I think we need a left-footed defender. So again, that's the question: would you go for Josko Guardiola or do you go for Declan Rice? I don't see us buying both. What a cross from Kevin De Bruyne there! Almost Mahrez putting it in. Calvin Phillips comes on in the place of Rodri. Julian Alvarez is there. I think Pep is just bringing off players for that Bayern game. I think one more goal we need to score and that will settle it. I think the summer transfer window is going to be interesting because Declan Rice will have a lot of suitors. Liverpool will be looking at Declan Rice now that they're out of the Jude Bellingham race. They'll definitely be looking at Declan Rice. Arsenal might be looking at Declan Rice due to Thomas Partey fitness issues and stuff. Uh, Jorginho, I don't think is the long-term answer for Arsenal. Chelsea will definitely be looking at Declan Rice, and the reasoning I don't know any. I don't know the reason why. If there's no logic, then it's pretty obvious that Chelsea will be looking there. Manchester United will be looking beyond Casemiro because their midfield, Fred, Scott McTominay, Casemiro is getting old. It's not. He can't play all the matches. Fred and McTominay, I don't think they're good enough to play in Ten Hag's midfield. The high pressing, the demands. So I think United will be looking at Declan Rice. So a lot of competition for Declan Rice actually. All of the top clubs should be looking at Declan Rice. Don't know what happens at Spurs. They might be looking at Declan Rice, but I don't think Declan Rice will go to Spurs of all places. So thing with Declan Rice will be very interesting. But then again, there are some choices for us. Do we go for Jude Bellingham or do we go for Declan Rice? I don't. Kyle Walker, great run from Kyle Walker, and I guess it's a corner for us. That's fantastic from Kyle Walker over there. I think the summer transfer window is gonna be interesting and fascinating because we'll always have choices. Jude Bellingham or Declan Rice. Who is it? We'll only sign one. Josko Guardiola or Declan Rice, for example. So I think there are those kind of choices you actually need to make. Set pieces, City have the height as well. Jack Grealish is looking to do a Riyad Mahrez over there. I remember Mahrez did that once against Manchester United. I think it was last season. I think it's a very difficult skill there to execute on the volley. But the front where it's gone very quiet is the winger front, and I'm actually a bit tense on that winger front actually because I really want us to sign a good winger. Is it Rafael Leao? He's refused to sign a contract with AC Milan, though Maldini is the sporting director has said to be convincing him. So Rafael Leao is almost Milan will be ready to sell him. So Leao will be interesting. JSK says Guardiola don't want pacey wingers, but there'll be a point of time, JSK, where these slow wingers, this system could be figured out a bit. And how do you stay ahead of opponents? Then you would need a pacey winger. So just pass the ball back to Edison. Grealish is on the ball, so that's fine. That's wonderful play out of the back. Grealish and Bernardo Silva. Leicester are in the dust now. What a play out of the back. Look at Jack Grealish. That's a foul for City. Jack Grealish and Bernardo Silva. Leicester are like, wow, how do we play against these guys? I actually think Pep wants pacey wingers because he wants to mix it up a bit. I think the ideal combination would be a Grealish and a Leao, for example, or someone like that. Because the run, there are certain kind of matches where you need those pacey wingers just to put off the defense. For example, when teams extremely part the bus against you and do those things. So I think a pacey winger. I mean, once you lose that variety, I think as a team you start to become more and more predictable. And with Pep, the thing is, he always likes to. That's why he always likes to mix it up, keep it rolling. He doesn't settle on a standard stuff. He doesn't go with the flow. Good ball in from Riyad Mahrez. They're fighting for it in the box. Aymeric Laporte hasn't had much to do, to be honest. Aymeric Laporte. Very good ball inside. What a ball, but it's gone out. JSKS is in academy. We have lots of pacey wingers. Carlos Borges is basically younger version of Rafael, and there's also Embuda as well, right? Yeah, people say that you can actually see flashes of Leroy Sané in Embuda, the way he dribbles the ball, the way he crosses the ball across. In the academy, they say that you know they're almost seeing the pairing of Sané and Sterling when they see the pairing of Carlos Borges and Embuda play together. Actually, the understanding, the movement, the winger to winger goals this season have been fantastic. Carlos Borges is very interesting. Is very interesting. Yes, the one thing about Carlos Borges, I would say, is he doesn't keep the ball well. Probably he'll learn it under Pep Guardiola, but that is something it needs to be seen how he will actually progress. Riyad Mahrez giving the ball away again, and Kyle Walker does. That's a foul. That's a foul, and it's a free kick for City. There has been news of Serge Gnabry also. Do you want Serge Gnabry now? After seeing what he did against us with Bayern Munich, do you guys want Serge Gnabry? I actually thought Serge Gnabry might not be a bad option because he's experienced and stuff. Good to see Cole Palmer coming on as well. I would want to see Maximo Parone coming on as well. JSK says better get Leroy. That would just all the opposition fans will cry. JSK, if we get Leroy Sané, how do you defend if there is Leroy Sané? I mean, next summer, just imagine we get Jude Bellingham and we get Leroy Sané and we get Josko Guardiola. It might cost us, and we get a right back, but just imagine get Jude Bellingham, Leroy Sané, and Josko Guardiola. Just see the meltdown of opposition fans. Ah, what a save! What a save that is from the Leicester goalkeeper. What a strike from Riyad Mahrez. And by the way, Mahrez always scores against Leicester. Oh, very good save. Very good save. But the Leicester goalkeeper, what a save this is. I mean, how do you even play Leroy Sané and Erling Haaland with Kevin De Bruyne supplying them? That would just be unfair, right? That would just be unfair for other teams, right? How would the defenses deal with the pace of both Sané and Erling Haaland? JSK says, but Sané has been bang average for Bayern. I mean, Bayern on the outside, if you just look at it from the outside, you'll think that Bayern should be one of the easiest clubs to go into because the pressure is almost the pressure is almost not there on Bayern because they pretty much a guaranteed Bundesliga 9.5 out of 10 times, 9.99 out of 10 times. You're almost guaranteed to go along in the Champions League. You'll win the Pokal most of the times, and it might look like Bayern might be an easy club to play in compared to the Premier League clubs where you have pressure almost until the end. You have to play in a lot of competitions. But one thing in Bayern is, which I think Sané also didn't expect, is the politics. That's why Pep Guardiola came out of Bayern as well. The politics in Bayern is just insane. Not just politics in terms of the club management and stuff, but the politics in terms of dressing room politics. I mean, I've been reading articles and things that there are some voices inside the Bayern dressing room. Muller, Neuer, there are some big voices that even the manager is afraid to go against. They say that's why Julian Nagelsmann is, uh, has been sacked. Even in Sané's first season, there were actually reports that the Bayern top players like Muller and Neuer, even Lewandowski, then were not happy with Sané that he was being a bit more direct. He was not playing the balls to them. So a lot of politics in that Bayern this thing. I mean, when was the last time you saw Sadio Mane? I mean, okay, he punched Sané and all, but when was the last time you saw Sadio Mane actually getting angry? It was not just the punch, but the politics inside would have just infuriated him, and that was just a burst out from Sadio Mane because he's been so much in the Premier League, and as a person, as a player, it's like generally they say he's a very likable person and stuff like that. So a lot of politics in Bayern actually, and We also have to remember that Sané also has a flat in Manchester. Still, he still comes to Manchester regularly, and also there have been reports that his that Sané's girlfriend wants to come back to Manchester, and lot of it. Yeah, Mane is struggling to Mane. I think is at Bayern Munich. Sadio Mane. I think he's one of the top players over there. His levels above most of those Bayern players. Okay, he's 30, 31 now, but still. So if Mane is struggling, then you have to actually imagine what the situation of the politics is inside there. What a ball that is, and good defending from Leicester. If Bayern want to sell Sane, I think Sane would just be the perfect one. Then again, the question comes: where do you play Jack Grealish? Where do you play Phil Foden? Would Sane be okay to actually rotate? Lot of question marks in terms of the transfer window, in terms of what, but at least we know a system through which we are building for the future. We at least, I mean, if you ask me this question in January, February, I would be like, I don't know the answer, because what are we building with? What is the system? Because the objective in this season primarily has been, looking for an attacking structure that Haaland is, that we can get the best out of Erling Haaland. The quest for that has only been realized in the last month. Until then, we still didn't know what our system was. Now we know what our system is. Actually, think we can have a better idea of what to do in the transfer window. But I honestly think our top priority in this transfer window will be a left back for sure, cover for Ake. Because Laporte is definitely not good enough to play there. And by the way, I'm very happy that Ben Chilwell has signed a new contract with Chelsea, because there was a real chance that Pep, with all of his fascination, would be going for Ben Chilwell. Ben Chilwell is not a good 1v1 defender. He's a very good attacker, but he's not at all a good defender. Pep Guardiola, like always, still has a bit of a tense look on his face. Clean sheet is again paramount here. Good pressing from Julian Alvarez. He's a pressing machine. Look at Jack Grealish pressing as well. The City's high press is on. Guardiola shouted something and City's high press is on. Leicester just are not able to get out of our high press here. That is superbly done. City's high press is on, and that is superbly done. Wonderful, wonderful there. Look at the way we hunted the ball down. We cut off on all the angles, got the ball. Calvin Phillips, Cole Palmer, Aymeric Laporte, Jack Grealish 1v1 against the Leicester fullback. Bernardo Silva, Aymeric Laporte, back to Bernardo Silva. No, he's chosen Calvin Phillips over there. Calvin Phillips to Bernardo Silva. Phillips is just looking better and better day by day. He's not anywhere near the level of Rodri, but he's just looking better and better. Manuel Akanji, Ruben Diaz, Calvin Phillips. Good switch to Kyle Walker, and that's a corner for City. The play has just been fantastic there. The way we hunted down the ball and stuff. John Terry there looking on. Dean Smith, John Terry, and Craig Shakespeare as well. Craig Shakespeare, I think, was also an ex-coach of Leicester, I think, before he was sacked. Jack Grealish, the long range shot. It was on target, but good block from the Leicester defense. That's a great switch. I think it was from Calvin Phillips, if I'm not wrong. Well done. We must try to keep the clean sheet, whatever happens. And the interesting thing about the summer will be that there are quite a few academy talents who are coming out as well. Oscar Bob from the academy is just doing so well and has come through all of the youth levels. Cole Palmer might be having a breakthrough season next year for him. James McAtee is coming back. Taylor Howard Bellis, probably we would leave him with Burnley again. Tommy Doyle has been fantastic for Sheffield United. He'll be coming back. I don't know what will happen to Liam Delap now that we have Alvarez and Haaland both. Jessica says Nico O'Reilly. He scored a hat trick, I think, right? Or a brace today against Manchester United. Today there was a derby for the under 18s, right? Nico O'Reilly scored there. Yeah, brace. He scored a brace exactly. There's a derby. So at all youth, but he's under 18s, but he's very good. So I think Pep might have a look at him. But two players for me, Oscar Bob and James McAtee, especially for the midfield actually. So and Romeo Lavia would also be another interesting choice. The news is that that's a good ball, but very well defended, very well bred actually. Peru India's over there. The news about Romeo Lavia is apparently the buyback clause doesn't set in until next season and until next year. So this summer we can't apply the buyback clause for Romeo Lavia. And Manchester United want Romeo Lavia, Chelsea want Romeo Lavia. So even Newcastle probably a bit of interest, I don't know, but Chelsea and United are desperately interested in him. Southampton are trying to go down. So what do we do about Romeo Lavia? Do we go for him, or do we risk him being sold to a rival? Couple of interesting decisions being made. I mean, if Romeo Lavia is, for example, allowed to go to Manchester United, there will be a bit of an outrage among fans, especially why did you allow an academy product to go there? But I actually think from the time we made the decision on Calvin Phillips to buy Calvin Phillips, I don't think Romeo Lavia had a place in the City team because where do you actually play Romeo Lavia? I don't know. That's a good ball. Leicester are in. Leicester are in. Clean sheet is important. That was a chance for Leicester. It was a chance. Dennis Pratt onto it. These are the chances we can't concede. We just can't concede these chances. Look at it. That's one of the problems over there. Ake and Laporte. Look at a bit of a drop off the pace. When you're a left back, you need a bit of pace. Ake would have caught up with Dennis Pratt over there and made a good challenge or something. So Calvin Phillips, nice tackle. He's got the ball. Manuel Akanji. All of the attacks of Leicester are coming through that Laporte side. Tells you something. Edison holds the ball and passes it out quickly, and Calvin Phillips can go. He almost played Kyle Walker in there. It was an eye of a needle pass. That was almost. It's a Leicester free kick. I know there's been a bit of a drop off, but there's a substitution now. There's a substitution. The referee is calling someone. I don't know what has happened over there. Sergio Gomez is coming on actually. And then there is Sergio Gomez as well. A lot of players still in the team, and the problem is Pep also considers Sergio Gomez to not as a left back but to play in that. Look at it, he's substituting Grealish for Sergio Gomez. Probably Bernardo Silva will play the Grealish role and Gomez will settle into the middle. So I think Pep is looking at Gomez also as a long-term midfield player because he's played in La Masia, he's come out of La Masia playing that position. So suddenly you see the problem over there. Okay, Gundogan is leaving. Probably you might also. I hope Bernardo Silva doesn't leave, but Gundogan's leaving. We have to plan for Kevin De Bruyne chair as well. But you also have a lot of midfield talent coming in. That is very well defended by Manuel Akanji over there. His reading of the game, his IQ of the game is superb, Manuel Akanji. That's very well defended and it's a corner. James Madison was almost shaping up to shoot over there. That's very well defended by Aymeric Laporte. Just can't concede a goal. Just can't concede a goal, guys. Cannot concede a goal. Corner. The one thing I'm confident about in corners is the height we are having. I know Leicester themselves are tall, but now the height has reduced a bit. I know with Rodri and all going off, but and Iheanacho has scored it. It's 3-1. Leicester have scored. Leicester have bloody scored. It's 3-1. Yeah, too many changes exactly. I don't know why he's made too many changes there. We need to be very careful now. Can't concede a bloody third goal. Sorry, can't concede a bloody second goal. JSK says Edison is back. He just wanted to tell you hi, JSK. Iheanacho was anyway offside over there. I mean, if we were 4 goals up, probably I understand Pep making these many changes. But with 3 goals up, so many changes. I don't know, especially the defensive line. I can understand it's going to be tough against Bayern, but and it's a Leicester City throw in as well. Now we are inviting pressure onto us. What the hell? We need to score one more goal here. Bernardo Silva, Calvin Phillips. Why have we not bloody kept a clean sheet? It still hurts me us not keeping a clean sheet. Yeah, not his fault, but still it's hurting JSK. It's still hurting that we have conceded a goal. Yeah, Calvin Phillips messed up. It had to be Calvin Phillips messing up. But then the rest to Rodri was, rest to Rodri was inevitable, right? You Pep needed to take Rodri out. Just hope we see out this game. Ah, Leicester are getting close. Leicester are getting bloody close. Ah, this game is tense now. It's the game's not over. It's not over at all. It's tense. Just keep possession for 5 minutes. Give it back to Eddie. Give it back to Eddie. Yes. Calvin Phillips there in a lot of space. I'm so tensed here right now. I don't know. Next 5 minutes, just be calm and everyone do their jobs well. That's all. Next 5 minutes, we play 5 minutes here. Almeric Laporte. I'm just worried about seeing Calvin Phillips play. How has Pep brought him on 50th? Again. No, I'm just speaking against myself here. Rodri needed rest, and we're keeping a lot of possession as well now. And Leicester are just looking to hit us on the break. Sergio Gomez, just don't give up possession. Calvin Phillips. Bernardo Silva is now dictating the play for Calvin Phillips. Calvin Phillips. That's a City. That's a Leicester goal kick. JSK says, by the way, who plays CDM and Academy after Romeo Lavia? I don't know JSK. I don't know. But right now, I'm very tense. It's a throw into Leicester. I'm actually very tense right now. This game. I mean, seconds are seeming like minutes here to tick by. Julian, press, press, press. Julian, press. Sergi, go and press. Just don't allow James Madison to get on the ball. That's the only thing. Very tense, absolutely tense. Leicester are just passing the ball among themselves, but they just want to hit a long diagonal or something like yes, that's what they wanted to hit. Eddie, Eddie, catch it, Eddie. Yes, that's what they were planning to do. Eddie, take your bloody time. That's one thing with Edison. He just doesn't take time. And the one time he took time against Arsenal, 23rd minute, he got a yellow card. I'm just getting goosebumps here whenever I see Calvin Phillips receive the ball. I know that Calvin Phillips needs time, but we can't afford any mistakes in this bloody run in. What a stupid mistake! What a stupid mistake there! Did James Madison score? What a save exactly, and what a stupid mistake! What a save exactly, what a save! What a save! This match isn't over, guys. This match isn't over at all. What a save that was from Edison. For a moment, I thought that went in. Now, until the 90th minute, we can't afford to concede a goal. Is it a handball? JSK says not a penalty. Don't worry. Okay, okay. No, Suman, don't tell 3-3. No, Suman. Are you sure, JSK? Okay, okay, that's fine. That's fine. I mean, thank you for that. No, Sumant, no 3-3. No 3-3 at all, Sumant. Patson Taka comes on as well now. Sumant says exciting finish ahead. Ah, JSK, for a moment I was like, oh, has it already been 3-2? And then you took my prediction till full time. Wow, JSK, you're like, for a moment, my heart almost skipped a beat over there. I don't know. I don't know what's happening here. I'm probably predicting it will be 3-1 till full time, but let us see. But that save, JSK, that save. But that was bang on. Superb, JSK, what you told. 3-2 till for my predict 3-2 and he gave a pause. And Sumant was just like playing along with the Siki defense taking a nap. I was like, my god, everyone can't be joking. Wow, what a tense finish this is. If it's 3-3 Sumant, I will lose my shit. You just can't win 3-0 against Bayern at home and lose 3-3 against the relegation based Leicester. Suman just played along superbly well over there. That's just not possible. 3-0 against Bayern and 3-3 against the relegation based Leicester. The James Madison save was just. That's a free kick to City. It's a yellow card to Soyanshu. Julian Alvarez, take your time. This game was anything but straightforward, right? It was anything but straightforward. But then when people say the kind of risks Pep Guardiola has to take in this run in, especially when he has to manage three competitions. I think this is one of the risks today. For example, removing Rodri, Haaland, De Bruyne, everyone very early on and making so many changes. The result could have gone either ways. If the save wasn't there, 3-2, and you never know, momentum is with Leicester, right? Sumanjas, Ruben Diaz and Bernardo completing 90 minutes in both the matches. They are machines, Zuman. Their engine is just superb. Especially the engine of Bernardo Silva. Well, well defended there. Good catch, Edison. 3 minutes of added time, have to see it through. but then literally if the second goal went in, the third would have gone in. And suddenly it's not just this game would have had a great effect on the title race, but then suddenly against Bayern Munich, it would be the same fields. For example, if this match Leicester made it 3-3, for example, against Bayern Munich, you would have the same monsters would have come back. The Real Madrid monsters of what happened there. This Leicester monsters, if it would have been 3-3. So that save from Edison was so significant at 3-1. Again, a chance for it hit the post. It hit the post. 3 minutes shot. It hit the post. Good shot from Iheanacho. Arsenal fans are praying here. What do we have to do to buy a goal for Leicester? Again, did Edison tip it onto the bar? I don't know. The ref says it's not a penalty. Leicester are just ramping up the heat here. Then we must also remember City. A lot of changes have been made. So Suman says City always does this. Makes games exciting. Typical City, right? That's it. They say typical City. Very close one, JSK. Very close one. Scoreline doesn't reflect it. The Iheanacho shot of the post, the Ederson save. If you add all of it, then someone's prediction would have been close. Thank God that thing didn't happen. Thank God it's not 3-3. It would just have ruined a very good week for us, right? Not just a weekend. We did Bayern 3-0, and then at the weekend we played well. Southampton 4-1 and 30 more seconds to go. But Leicester, this always happens against Leicester, right? That company goal as well this season. 1-0 company hit it, and at last Iheanacho has a chance, he puts it wide. And every time people are telling, why does Iheanacho do this? It's agent Iheanacho. He just does it to make games exciting. It's not that he's really gonna score. That's well defended there from Aymeric Laporte. That's full time and it's 3-1. The scoreline doesn't reflect what has happened in the game. The game was tough. I mean, the game wasn't tough for the first 50-55 minutes. We outplayed them. It then gradually went on being tougher. Then you could see that Pep had made a lot of changes in the defensive line. For example, he bought in Akanji. Ake didn't start. Laporte was playing. Walker was there. Substituted Haaland, De Bruyne. Lot of substituted Rodri. Now you can feel the essence of how important Rodri is. If Rodri is on that pitch, then I actually think we finished the match with a clean sheet. That was a simple mistake from Calvin Phillips and great save from Anderson as well. So, but I actually think that was nothing to blame on Pep. 3-0 up. What do? You have a Bayern Munich Champions League quarterfinal away. The Allianz Arena. I think it was a risk. These are the kind of risk Pep needs to take. Going forward. Especially for example, if you have a semi-final against potentially Real Madrid, though I hope it could be Chelsea, but potentially against a Real Madrid team. The fixtures are on that date. You probably need to take this kind of a risk. So I think the risk has come off. On another day, it probably could have been 3-2, 3-3 as well. You just never know. But these are the kind of bit of a gamble you need to take. Well played, City. JSK says in this game shows we can rest Rodri. No, JSK, no. If there are any heart patients there, the BP machines will blast. You can't rest Rodri. Calvin Phillips is still shit. Vinay says last 20 minutes were shit. But Vinay, lot of changes from Pep, right? Lot of changes. Lot of changes from Pep, and I think these are the kind of gambles you need to take when you're especially in three competitions, especially when you have a quarter final tie, second leg tough, second leg away at home. It was something. The one thing was I don't know why we didn't press too hard for that fourth goal, because once you scored four goals, then I actually think it's done. I mean, I remember a match like this against Leicester. I think it was last year. I think last year was the match in December. 6-3. We were leading 4-0. Leicester hit three goals. It was 4-3, and then we scored two more. So Leicester always have. You look at Leicester's goal scored. Leicester have the highest goal scored in the bottom 10. So that's how good Leicester are going forward. Madison, Iheanacho, Paxton Daka. He made a lot of substitutions, but my only worry is about Calvin Phillips. Could he have bought on a Gundogan? No, he couldn't have. Now this shows that against Bayern Munich, for example, you can't just play Calvin Phillips at all. For example, in the 80th minute, you want to close the game and bring him on. No Calvin Phillips. So Calvin Phillips, I think, still needs time to rest. Vinay says Pep subs could have cost us. They very well could have, Vinay, but I guess that's the nature of the gambles you need to take when you're in three competitions. JSK says Ederson saved us today. JSK Ederson slowly becoming close to you, right? In that Bayern game, good save. This game, the save was just fantastic from James Madison, right? It was just a wonderful save. Bayaji says, why not look for another goal than purposeless passing around? I don't know, Bayaji. That's the thing. I didn't understand why we never look for another goal. The only thing we were looking for is putting crosses through Kyle Walker inside. That said, we never looked to even threaten Leicester's defense when we knew that four goals in the game was over. Probably could Pep have left Haaland and De Bruyne on for 10 more minutes and got that fourth goal and then rest? I don't know. I don't know. We would actually never know that, but it could have been a disaster today, but in the end it turned out to be actually a perfect game for City. All of our big players, they got rest today. Almost half of the squad who played in that Bayern Munich game, more than half of the squad got rest, right? So it just ended well. JSK says, okay, park the bus was terrible idea against Bayern. You can't park the bus against Bayern JSK. You can't just park the bus. There are so many attacking players, they'll get the best of you. Vinicius Phillips, Gomez can't play. They're not yet the level of level of City, Vinay. At least Phillips is not. Sergio Gomez, I thought he looked all right. Probably gave the ball away once or twice, but he looked all right. Gomez, as a winger, for example, he looked all right. But Calvin Phillips, my God, he just shit. He's just absolute shit. Now we might be wondering why we let Romeo Lavia go and kept this guy Calvin Phillips, but again with Pep, you're like give the player 1.5 year and then comment on him. So could have cost us the game, Calvin Phillips, but again with just trust Pep to give him some time. I mean, just back Pep to train him and get him back to full speed. Bayaji says rooster spot wasted on Gomez. But Bayaji Gomez, I think, is actually a good midfield player. Is actually a very good midfield player. His passing range and everything is good. I think with Gomez as well, I think you have to give it to him that he needs time to adjust and especially Gomez. Where has Gomez come from? He has come from a Belgian league, right? From Anderlecht, if I'm not wrong. So that's not even half the intensity of the Premier League. Coming to a new country and adjusting in a new system. What is 19 years of age or something, 19-20 of age. So I think Gomez needs time. The debate here at City is what is the right position for Sergio Gomez. We bought him for left back. I don't think he's a left back. I don't think he suits that left back position. I think Sergio Gomez is a left winger and or a left midfielder. He can play in that left the role which Jack Grealish does, for example. That's the role for Sergio Gomez actually. Vinay says, imagine if Madison squared to Kelechi would have been 3-2 and would have been nerves. Would have been nerves, Vinay, would have been nerves. But then his agent Iheanacho, Vinay, his agent Iheanacho. Remember, Company scored 1-0, that long shot against Leicester, won the title 18-19. Iheanacho has a shot to make it 1-1, hits it wide. His agent Iheanacho, he'll never forget his time at City. But with Madison, I think that kind of a range, you would back Madison to score it 9 out of 10 times. This was a great save. Bayaji says from most relaxed game of the season to near heart attack. Bayaji, it almost seemed like you're having a cozy sunny afternoon on a beach. You're just relaxing, sleeping, waves slowly moving, and suddenly a tsunami almost comes. The earth, everything starts shaking. That's how it felt. Honestly, after Leicester scored, you felt that the second was coming. You felt it was a matter of a time that the second came, and once you scored the second goal, I think you inevitably end up scoring third because the momentum is with you. It's the same that happened at the Bernabeu against Real Madrid. So I dreaded Leicester scoring that second goal. Vinay says, bring back Dino. Gomez can play well for mid-table teams. It's heavy pressure at City. You can't. I mean, at City there are some positions where sometimes mistakes are allowed, especially in the forward positions. But in that midfield position, especially the role Rodri plays, Stones plays, even a Diaz plays, those three positions, mistakes are not allowed. See, that's why Pep told Kyle Walker can't play there because in those positions, you make a mistake, opponent is through on goal. Just like how Madison was through on goal, it was a mistake from Diaz, I think, if I'm not wrong. So we might have been talking of a different show. We might have been talking of a different mood if it would have become 3-3. Different confidence level. We might have been. I mean, it is not just the Premier League. It could have seeped and affected the Champions League as well. The momentum that we have built up. At the end of the day, you might just go around and laugh around with it 3-1. You would think good and a happy day. It wasn't. And thank God that we actually got out of this game unscathed. Vinay says Arsenal fans will make big issues. Whatever happened in last 20 minutes, they'll tell that City can be got at. They'll tell that if Leicester can do that to City, anybody can. But I think in the context, I think it was a roll of the dice from Pep. I think we must remember this in the huge context. If there was no Bayern game, it was just Arsenal and us competing for the title. And okay, FA Cup, that's fine. But Arsenal and us competing for the title. Pep would have never made these many subs. When is the last time you saw Pep made these many subs? I think there will be occasions when Pep needs to roll the dice. Now, if the dice means that you lose points, or if the dice generally means that it's a risk, but you get out of the risk that you cannot decide. But I think Pep needed to roll the dice today. I mean, the last thing you would want is for a Rodri to break down at 60th minute against Bayern Munich, or for Nake to get injured, or for a John Stones to get injured, or a De Bruyne to break down in that Bayern Munich game in the middle of the game. So I actually think this was a gamble. Could have gone both ways. I agree, but Pep had to take the gamble. I think Pep had to take the gamble because going in three competitions, you need to take that gamble. Vinay says AFTV is wrongly representing Arsenal. It's just heat of the moment opinion. Why was I mean what was the famous element of AFTV? You have DT and you have all of those others, right? Troops, I think all of those others just coming in front of camera and just shouting, right, whenever Arsenal lost. And also, so I think that was what AFTV was about. So AFTV is not what the true Arsenal fan probably feels. It's not. They create an atmosphere that it's sometimes toxic. They say to the club, around the club, and that's true. That's true. But again, we Pep took the gamble and it paid off. Thank God it paid off. Anyway, guys, thank you for joining me. It's just been fantastic having this show with you all. It is not smooth sailing. Seemed smooth sailing, but wasn't exactly when I players crumble. Players crumble. That's true under the pressure, especially when you have a fan TV like that putting so much pressure on you. Players crumble. It could just spread toxicity all around. That's all. Good night. Happy night, Vinay. Happy night, and happy night to all of you who joined us on the show. Would have not been that much of a happy night. Would have not been that much of joy had Madison Square did and he and Icho hit didn't hit the post. A lot of scenarios possible, but then that's what football is. And see you all and take care.